Well, despite all the rumors, Dodgers apparently now have a couple of guys on the trading block. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Hump Day here on Dodgers Latest. So happy that you're along with us. Again, the subscriber count, the views, it's all because of you. We keep going up, and we're happy that you're always part of our day here with your daily dose of Dodgers Latest. Of course, you can hit me up right there, Instagram and on X at JRodShow. And of course, we love all the comments, the good and the bad. We had some fun. Old man, huh? Maybe I got to get a little bearded action going here. Maybe we got to hit the paint with this. But we love the interactions, all of them. We love it all, man. Love to hear from you. You know, it tells me you're watching, tells me your passion, and you can't ever excuse, and you never apologize for passion. So I love it. And when you've won 9 championships, trying to win your 3rd in a row, 10th in franchise history, love the passion that it brings, and happy that we're part of it here. And yeah, so the Dodgers, obviously the Kyle Tucker thing, the signing, it may have set off some dominoes in the sort of winter hot stove talk. And now we're hearing that there's 2 guys that are on the trading block. So let's sort of set this up now. So obviously it looked like it was going to be Teoscar Hernandez for a minute, right? But now that they got Kyle Tucker to play right field, Teoscar is going to move to left, and he's going to stay. And now the Dodgers, with their going after Freddie Peralta, which is still a thing, now we're hearing that Ryan Ward, who was the PCL AAA MVP down in AAA in Oklahoma City for the Dodgers, and Bobby Miller. Remember Bobby Miller? They are on the trading block to see if the Dodgers can sort of lure Freddie Peralta or move some people around. There's still some maneuvering on the 40-man roster, and we hear that there's a trade that is imminent. May not be a big blockbuster. There's also Tarek Skubal. He's floating around out there. So is Bobby Miller part of that? Is Ryan Ward part of that? So let's get into a little bit of who these guys are. We talked about Ryan Ward, right? The 2025 Pacific Coast League MVP. Look at those numbers. Gaudy, 36 homers, 122 RBIs. It's going to be 28 in February. Plays left field, plays right field, plays a little first base. The thought process was that they didn't get Kyle Tucker, that maybe Ryan Ward, who is currently on the 40-man roster, by the way, he could fill in as a corner outfielder and maybe even play a little first base to spell Freddie Freeman, especially now that we're hearing that Dalton Rushing, he's in the eyes of the Boston Red Sox about making a trade. Now, Ward has never played in the big leagues. He's going to be 28. Led the minors in extra base hits and total bases. I mean, not AAA, all of minor league baseball, with the 36 homers, 122 RBIs, 73 extra base hits, and 315 total bases. So the time is now at 28 years old for Ryan Ward. Dodgers are super high on him, but again, those kind of numbers are the kind of numbers you could flip. And obviously he's very attractive to people because since he's never been in the major leagues, the clock hasn't started for him in terms of arbitration and certainly about free agency. So he's a possibility that the Dodgers are looking for, according to some sources, about being a trade. Now, the one that's also kind of weird is Bobby Miller. Remember Bobby Miller? I mean, he looked like he was going to be the new ace of the Dodgers, right? He was going to be the heir apparent to Clayton Kershaw, and he sure looked the part in 2023. Won 11 games, had an ERA of 3.76. That was in 22 starts. Man, Dodgers made the playoffs. Bobby Miller, boy, this is the guy. And then Bobby Miller has had all sorts of shoulder problems and injuries, and he's fallen off a cliff. After going 11-4 in 22 starts in 23, the next 2 seasons combined, he's made a total of 14 starts, has gone 2-4, and an ERA in double digits. Now, part of the problem, we talked about he had some physical problems, had some shoulder inflammation in 24, and then, of course, in 25, Michael Busch of the Cubs hit him in the head with a line drive in spring training, like early on in spring training, like February of spring training of last year. So that really put him back. He's apparently come back. He's good. He's gotten past that part of it. Although, man, that's got to be rough to stand on the mound and face a guy 60 feet, 6 inches, especially after getting drilled in the head. Over 100 miles an hour was that line drive. And, of course, you could look that up on YouTube or wherever to see it. So, but he just hasn't seemed to bounce back. Dodgers, even when they were having all sorts of problems with Tanner Scott before they decided to move Roki Sasaki over to the bullpen and be the closer, it was thought, well, maybe we'll turn Bobby Miller into a closer, kind of like an Eric Gagne type experiment. So apparently, with the sort of absolute depth that the Dodgers have in starting pitching, and really in relief pitching, apparently there's no role anymore for Bobby Miller. And he's going to be 27 in April, so he's still got plenty of baseball left, and we certainly wish him all the best, especially mentally after getting hit with that line drive in spring training last year. Looks like his time with the Dodgers may be done, so Ward and Miller are trade baits and trade prospects. Would they be included in a Tarek Skubal deal? Would they be included in a Freddie Peralta deal? Would they be included in some other sort of piece, whether it's now, whether it's before the season, spring training before the season, or actually the trading deadline? But keep an eye out for Ryan Ward and Bobby Miller, who apparently now have run out of space in terms of the Dodgers. And listen, I appreciate a franchise that's honest with a player and says, listen, there's no role here anymore for you. I think for Ryan Ward, there's just no room at the end. And for Bobby Miller, I think his time is done in Los Angeles, hoping he can go somewhere else, get a new fresh start, and get into it as well. Speaking of a fresh start, Andy Pages has said that he will not play in the World Baseball Classic. He was set and he was on the roster for Team Cuba, but apparently he has now made the decision that he will not play in the WBC. And it really it has to do nothing about politics. It has everything to do with Andy Pages, the baseball player. He's going to be 25, and he wants to focus on the season. He had such an up and down season, right? He ended up hitting .272, very respectable, 27 homers, 86 runs batted in, 14 stolen bases. Good regular season, although I'll tell you what, at the beginning of the regular season, we didn't think Andy Pages may be with the team, right? He was having all sorts of base running problems, throwing problems, and he certainly wasn't hitting. And then finally got it going, got to those 27 home runs, and then the postseason happened. And Andy Pages fell off a cliff as well. Hit .078 in the postseason, 4 for 51 with 1 run batted in. And he had 2 memorable moments in the postseason. I don't know if you remember, he hit that comebacker in the division series to Ryan Kerkering of the Phillies, who then threw home and threw it away, and Ha-Seong Kim scored. So that was Andy who hit that comebacker. And of course, the one he'll always remember, you can hang it in the Louvre, you can make Christmas tree ornaments of it, was that catch he made on the ball hit by Ernie Clement when he dunked over Kike Hernandez out in left field and saved the Dodgers from losing the World Series. A great catch coming all the way from almost right center field to make that catch in left field. So Andy Pages will always be remembered for that. But he now wants to focus on 26 and himself as a ball player. And, we're getting into the big money time for Andy Pages. Now, he's only 25, and he is still pre-arbitration eligible. So the Dodgers basically can pay him whatever they want. He can't even go to arbitration and say, hey, I think I deserve this. That's not even in the cards yet. You don't get eligible for arbitration after you've been in the big leagues for 3 years. He's about a year and a quarter. After this season, he may be able to qualify for what's called the Super 2, which is in between 2 and 3 years of service time. You'll get an extra 4th year of arbitration. Normally, it's 3 years of pre-arbitration, 3 years of arbitration, and then you can go to free agency. Well, the Super 2s, and that he's going to probably qualify in that, you get 4 years of arbitration, get a little bit more cash, get a little bit more scratch before you can actually go free agent. And of course, Dodgers could end up, if they wanted to, offer him some sort of a long-term contract as well. But so Andy's probably going to make about $800,000. He made $700,000 last year. Maybe around $800,000 because, there are sort of escalators that the union and the league all have put in. So, it's not going to be an absolute bare minimum salary. He can make a little bit. But I appreciate Andy Pages saying, listen, I did not perform at all in the playoffs. I'm getting into the big money part. I'm going to be the starting center fielder for this team. It looks like that's going to happen. It's going to be Teoscar in left, Andy Pages in center, and Kyle Tucker in right. And as I've said before, this is an outfield that could hit 100 home runs. So especially if Andy's right. And I think Andy just wants to have a complete season, not only a good regular season, but also be impactful in the regular season. So I appreciate Andy Pages doing that and saying, listen, I'm going to focus on that, have a full spring training, and not get into the World Baseball Classic. And, of course, we always want you to be part of the show. You're the very best part of Dodgers Latest. And yesterday, man, I struck a nerve. I talked about, Mookie Betts, who said he was going to retire after when his contract expired in 2032. He's going to be 40 years old. He says, that's it. I'm going to retire. I'm done. I don't want any more of this. It'll be 20 years in the big leagues. He will have completed his 12-year contract with the Dodgers. And I kind of put it out there, is Mookie Betts a Hall of Famer? And again, he's still got 7 years on his contract. So, he's going to be flirting with 3,000 hits, probably going to be around the 2,800 hit mark. Will be right around 400 home runs. If he has some monster years, he could get to 3,500 home runs. I think he's probably a Hall of Famer. And I say probably because these writers are weird, right? I look at guys, I know they're not the same player, but I look at guys like Omar Vizquel. Today we announced, it was announced that Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran got into the Hall of Fame. And some people say, what took so long? Some people, I've heard people say Jim Edmonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Not that they're the same as Mookie Betts. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying these writers are wonky. They're weird. And, it could be anything that triggers somebody. And then again, with this crazy offense that we're in now, it used to be 300 home runs, you were automatically, 500 home runs, you were automatically in the Hall of Fame. I almost feel like 500 home runs isn't even going to get you to Hall of Fame anymore. You got to be in the 600 home run range because so many home runs are hit now. But I think Mookie will get there. It'll just be interesting to see if he gets there with what kind of numbers. And, of course, you guys were totally in agreement. Mookie is a no-doubt Hall of Famer. Slam dunk for Mookie already with 4 championships. Hopefully we'll add to that. 1 with the Red Sox, 3 with the Dodgers. He's definitely a Hall of Fame player. Anybody question it, wait and see. Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he'll get there. It's just a matter of what does he do over these last 7 years? Does he make it an absolute no-brainer? Or according to you guys, he's already a no-brainer. But I can't wait to see Mookie Betts come back and have a good, healthy, physically, mentally healthy season in 2026 for the Dodgers and tear it apart there. Mookie, of course, MVP in 2018 of the American League, finished second in National League MVP voting twice as a Dodger. And, of course, those 4 titles, he has more championships than any active player in major leagues right now. And, of course, we love you being part of the show, J-Rod Show on X and Instagram. And, of course, hit us up here on the YouTube channel as we get closer every day to the World Baseball Classic, every day to spring training. And, of course, March 26th, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Will Tarek Skubal be on the Dodgers by then? Will they have another trade? Will they have somebody else in there? It's going to be wild. Who starts opening day? Is it Snell? Is it Yamamoto? Interesting. An interesting one will be. You would think it would be Yamamoto, right, to celebrate the championship. But, hey, once the bell rings, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So happy you're with us. Remember, hit me up right there, and let's talk some Dodger baseball. And no matter where you are, and no matter what you have, and all the passion, it's always time for Dodger baseball.